Good evening. Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Right, I'm back a little later than I wanted to be tonight, and may not be able to keep. Told people I was going to be able to do a few videos this evening. I'm going to struggle, I think. So I'll start with the one which people have asked about the most, which is the Stihl 066, listed as a project saw, and we'll get onto that. And hopefully, if I get time, we'll move on to the Mac 15 and the 45. And that's actually there's a few to show, in fact. So Stihl 066. So some people say that this is the best saw that Stihl have ever made, and then sometimes they kind of balance this between the 088, its bigger brother, and the 066. And always as well, it's really interesting, there's a lot of confusion over the manufacturing dates on the 66. So people say, oh, they're from certain websites, list them from 98, 97, and of course that's all completely wrong. So the smaller sister of this girl, which is the 64, which runs they run a 52mm piston, and can't be 5238, can it? Because that would be the wrong CC. No, of course not. So they run a 5240, and this girl runs a 5440. So the 5240 is a 85. That shares those dimensions with a few other saws actually. The 5440 takes this girl to just under 92 cc's, and these launched in 91, and they were the very famous 660, the RL, the red light, so you could actually tune it in the cut. I've never seen one of the 660s with the RL, but amazing saws. So this goes slightly later, 1997, and I have photographed it from the top down and put it into the listing so people can see every single component on the saw and why she's up as a project saw. So when she arrived, she was had three things missing predominantly, and they were the exhaust, which is now brand new aftermarket, the handle, brand new aftermarket, and the pull start cover, which they seem to be incredibly difficult to get. So the handle and the exhaust, I believe, were European. I get the impression that all the pull start housings are Chinese. Perhaps they all are, but okay. So going around the saw then systematically, what's not original? So the literally exhaust, pull start housing, and handle. Okay, and dogs. Right. Okay. So other than that, as far as I know, everything's original from both top covers. You'll see I've taken photographs of with the clutch drum off, just checking the clutch, so it's an original Stihl clutch. And actually when I was in, I didn't like the sprocket, and so she's got a brand new Oregon Colton sprocket on her, and as a matter of course I put she's got a brand new full chisel chain, looks really imposing, running a genuine Stihl period Duramatic guide bar. This is a 25-inch solid nose, can run up to a 36-inch guide bar. And I was reading, there's some really interesting stories from foresters actually in the States where they love running these with 16 or 20-inch bars and just murdering the wood. Can you imagine this with a 16-inch bar? Yikes. So with the 25-inch bar, really nicely balanced, beautiful. Chain brake, working perfectly. Original tank, original carburetor, original AVs, original flywheel's not been off it, original coil's not been off it. It's the original mal piston and cylinder, so the original 54mm mal cylinder and piston. And when I took that off, I, as a matter of course, put a brand new Stihl, so again Stihl gasket, put a brand new Stihl 1/2 mil base gasket on her, and took the piston off. I just replaced the needle bearing just because. So I photographed all of that. It's lovely and clean inside. And obviously this girl is, how many years is she now? 73. She's going to be nearly 30 years old. And she's probably cut down 1,000 trees or more in her life. Never taken a cut with me. And so you can see where the piston has gone up and down. You can see the faintest skirt marks in the cylinder, but nothing which catches your nail. I mean, it's really, really clean. And original piston rings are left on there, and I photographed those as well. And somebody else messaged and said, you know, why didn't you just swap the rings out? But I just wanted it to show exactly as she is after 27 years. Right, and then when I put the handle on, these are the correct Stihl P6 screws, so they are the coarse threaded correct length screws there, the correct Stihl screws on the exhaust. Had a new exhaust gasket as well. And what else do we need to say about this girl? Is there anything else to say? Correct air filter, correct throttle linkage, etc, etc. Had a correct, as you do when you're inside, a correct Stihl impulse line. Changed the new filter in her. She had a new fuel pickup. And so damage wise, tiny. So she has, on the rear right AV mount, there's a piece of metal missing around the base of the AV mount. And other than marks and scratches which you'd expect to see, that's it. So that's why she's a project saw. So she's missing this tiny bit round here. Still feels tight. How does she run? Well, they're just beauties, aren't they? Here we go. So, and I guess if you're chasing performance, you could just put in brand new piston rings from Stihl. They are, I think when I checked, they're around £30. Okay, so first time starting of the day. Down, 1, 3 pulls, up. Guys, so you'll see she goes literally straight up off the top end, but hasn't been touched in wood, so undoubtedly maybe needs tuning in wood. Comes back to a lovely thumping idle, again not touched wood, and so she was obviously might need tweaking one way or the other, but beautiful running. And somebody else messaged and said, hey, I've got a picture of the piston with it obviously out of the saw, and could I take a picture of it you know, directly after running, see the piston. So I did that earlier on as well, yesterday. Just haven't uploaded the pictures yet. I'll do that tonight. So there she is. that's the gorgeous Stihl 066. So 1997, and yeah. So what does she need? Well, I don't know if she needs anything in that regard, and it's just to be aware that there's this brake here around this bottom rear mount, and if anybody is super critical, bearing in mind she's been running for that length of time, it might be the tiniest hairline marks on the piston, but you can check the pictures, and yep, there she is, the gorgeous Stihl 066. Correct vent as well on the tank, I meant to say, and correct plug. AV mounts all feel tight. They're sure on one restart. Just beautiful saws. Really interesting as well, reading about the people that cut with them, saying that the 66, which superseded the 64, and how that they say that the port timing on the 66 outperforms that of the 661, which would be really interesting to know, wouldn't it? That it's harder to maintain the revs because of the timing, that some people switch the top ends from this onto the later saw. I didn't know that was possible either, but that's really interesting. Right, let's do a restart. So rock steady idle, no hunting, and chain oiler working beautifully. Obviously pro saw, fully adjustable chain oiler. And did I mention she's running, so I've put on a 404 chain. That's the beauty of the Duramatic solid nose bar. Really nice tip symmetry on this bar as well. You can of course switch out it's a large spline sprocket, so it's a 22mm spline. Switch out that to you could put on an 8-tooth 3/8, which I think she was originally running on, but my preference is 404. And of course you could, if you're a 325 user, you could take that out and put a 9-tooth 22mm 325 1.6mm gauge chain and run it on that. So really versatile. There she is, the absolute gorgeous Stihl 066. So that's the thing to bear in mind. Check all the pictures and be aware of this on the underside, and hopefully guys, a beautiful saw for one of you. A fabulous sounding engine in it. It's just restart it once more. I wonder if she needs choke at all or go straight to idle. I haven't tried that with this one. Guys, thanks for watching. So in many regards flawless really, isn't she, for the age? Just there you go, that partial damage. Oh, actually there's one other thing to mention as well, which I noticed the screw threads on the felling dogs are supposed to be M5s, and the lower inside thread is poor, and I put a helicoil in it for M6, and so she's running an M6 bolt on the lower thread just because they've been tugged, and I didn't like the look of it. There you go guys. Right, if I get time, got to show one of my show-stopping 045s. Guys, bye for now.